Hi everybody, my name's Carl. I'm a software developer working primarily with Xamarin Forms in the UK. I'm just going to give you a quick overview of Xamarin Forms, why you might choose Xamarin Forms, and a little overview of what's changing. The reason I'm making this video is I've been supporting lecturing in a local college. I've been asked by some students for some additional information. So what I'm going to do is just create a quick demo application and just talk through some of the aspects of Xamarin Forms. So if you want to make your own application, obviously please follow along. I won't be going into too much. I'm trying to keep this video to about 10 minutes. So select, firstly you'll need Visual Studio. There is a new version. I'm using 2019, but 2022 is released. And just make sure when you download Visual Studio that you select the module to allow you to create mobile applications. So when you create a Xamarin Forms application now, you do have some templated options. One of them is a flyout menu, a traditional tab bar across the bottom, or a blank application. Now originally these particular options were a master detail page or a tab view, but they both now are using Shell. Shell is a new implementation that Microsoft brought in to simplify navigation. My personal opinion of Shell is that it isn't quite ready yet. It does add a lot of boilerplate to these these blank applications. So we'll just create a blank one for this illustration. With regards to Xamarin Forms, the architecture that it does follow is an MVVM approach. So it's just to help with separation of concern. So you'll tend to see with the Xamarin Forms applications that you'll have your views and your data separated in terms of a view and a view model, and your model is just like your data structure to any items that you might have in a list of such. When you open up a Xamarin Forms application, you'll see 3 projects, and that's because it creates a Android application and a iOS application. However, we don't tend to do a lot of work in these 2 secondaries. What tends to happen is anything that you code in this main project is fed through into your iOS project. You only tend to go into these if you're doing any custom rendering stuff or that you're adding assets. So you'd add images to a drawables folder. But if we have a look at this application, currently there is one page. This page is titled main page. So this is a Xaml Ui Design. So I'm just going to run this now. And if you imagine, if you've done any HTML, a stack layout is a little bit like a div because it contains many items. Stack layout actually has a lot of properties that you can play with, so you can change its orientation, you can set its height, you can give it a background color. So a stack layout is very good for simplified layouts, just linear down screen layouts. Xamarin Forms has a really good grid system as well, which I like to use in production applications. Now the first time you build the application it will be a little bit slower than normal, but the second time it is generally quicker. So if this has loaded, we can have a look here. There won't be much to see. So if we break down the UI, the sections of the UI, we simply have a frame. Now a frame's quite useful really because of this property here, corner radius. So I like to use frames. If we give a margin as well of 20 each side and 0 top and bottom, maybe we'll see the edges of this, or perhaps my hot reload isn't working. But frames are really good for wrapping around images. In fact, I don't know why they've declared in this example code corner radius as 0, because I think it by default is 0. So you've got your general labels. Each item, each label you can specify padding and margins. you can specify font size either in these static labels, so you can have large, you can have small, micro, but you can also just do the same way you do it anywhere else. You can just declare a size in points, so 12, etc. The great thing about this, and correct me if I'm wrong, but when you use something like these ones here, small on a mobile might be 10, but on a tablet it might be 12, so it helps with simplifying your code. You don't have to do too much text scaling then. With regards to this example text here, we can see that it's using a span as well. So if you've done any HTML, you'll know about span. Right, so that's a basic page. Now we have a look at the solution. So in this solution, you've got code behind. So you can make, you can do programmatic specifications. So we do this as a home page frame, and we'll save that. We can generally be able to grab this. So home page frame dot background color, and you can give it a background color or height. You know, you can access all the features. Again, similar to HTML, where you can get element by ID. So if you've not done any XAML before, I would suggest that you start playing around with the XAML. There are some great resources for Xamarin Forms. I'll bring one of them up actually. It's called, if you Google good looking Xamarin Forms, and there's a great set of repos here. All this source code you can download, and you will be able to see how they're generated. Some of the UIs are really practical, some of them are very fancy with special effects, etc. That's a really good place to start if you want to actually break the code down. In fact, I might do some videos on downloading one of these and just breaking down the code, and we'll change it on screen and see how we can affect it. So please let me know if you are interested in anything else regarding that. If you're interested in learning more around Xamarin Forms, please just leave me a comment. We can structure an MVVM app, so we can look at things like navigation. But yeah, please get in touch, leave me a comment, and I'll be happy to make some more videos. Thank you.